Hello everyone. We are back again with another episode, and welcome everyone to another special and special episode with a special guest in our Behind the Breakthrough series. This series is all about real people, real stories, and the moment that create a breakthrough in someone's life. Today's conversation is going to be very special one because our guests come from a background where trust, compliance, safety, and risk awareness are not just words, they were part of their everyday professional life. We often hear question about online opportunity. How do we know if something is genuine? What should we look for? How do we make informed decision? And today we have two amazing guests with us who bring a unique perspective because of their professional experience. We have Dorothy with us. Dorothy comes from a background in anti money laundering and safety, where identifying risk, understanding financial compliance, and protecting people were key part of her professional life. After years of working in her profession, Dorothy made a decision to step into entrepreneurship and build something of her own. Within just 9 months of starting her digital business, she was able to make the decision to leave her traditional 9 to 5 employment and focus on this new path. Today, Dorothy is a great leader in our community, a business coach, helping others understand the possibilities of creating an online business while sharing her own journey of transformation. The another guest we have with us, Mr. David. David is a cybersecurity and governance risk and compliance consultant with over 20 years of experience helping organizations strengthen compliance, prevent fraud, and prepare for audits. David holds several professional degrees, certification, along with expertise in cybersecurity and risk management. What makes David's journey especially interesting is that someone whose career has been focused on identifying risk, protecting system, and helping organizations operate with integrity also choose to build a digital business, which people most of the time hesitate to do.
Right.
So welcome both of you in our live series, and thank you so much. We are grateful to have you here with us in our live session. Thank you so much for coming and welcome. So,
Thank you.
yeah, I want to ask my first question to both of you. As I was telling about you, and I when I know about you, that question came in my mind too. Like you had very incredible profession, right? And after that, also, why? What it came in your mind that you wanted this online business? So I want to ask both of you, what was that reason?
All
We
right.
can start. Yeah, we can start with David.
Oh, thank you so much, Mudita. It's such an honor to be here today. From wherever you're watching us, you're welcome. My name is David. I'm an advisor on cybersecurity, just as I've been introduced to you, and I'm also a digital entrepreneur. Yes, that's a very interesting angle and question you brought in, Mudita. How can I put it? In I'm a business entrepreneur. What do I mean? In my own profession, I'm running consulting firm here in California, and it's been on for at least 5 years. I'm doing my sixth year, but of course, I'm an immigrant, and as you know, wherever you change environment, you got to learn how things work. You know, um, I had a background of running businesses back at home. Okay, straight out of school, I went into business, and I pushed on as much as I could. I was employed at least for a year, somewhere in between 2015 and 2016. I worked a corporate job for a year. Then I went back into consulting. At some point, I found myself here in the US, and again, it was like life from square one. So I went into employment. I've done survival jobs like everybody who comes out here. But then I found myself again in corporate doing IT. So um, that happened for a while. Then I went into business again. Now, like any business-minded person, we always talk about diversity. You got to find other sources of income, because it calls for that. You want to spread your net, because some environments are unstable. You see things change, mergers, takeovers, businesses closing. It happens right in your face. And in Silicon Valley, it's very common. You see businesses start up and close. So I was like, you know what? While we are doing all these things, there are opportunities that don't require brick and mortar, that are not brick and mortar businesses, like businesses that require you to set up shop, employ a lot of people and that kind of thing. And the digital space has brought such opportunities. There's never been a better time to do business online than now, okay? Because we have all the technologies, we have so many platforms to leverage from. I thought, you know what, from seeing some people around me, I was like, you know what, I think this would be a chance, an opportunity to venture, to try and spread my net in a different direction. So it's my business mind, I would say, that pushed me to start looking in a different direction, to try and do things differently. I love what I do, and it's what I breathe and eat. So, but again, I know that my evening years are going to depend a lot more on something like a digital business, because we will all slow down at some point. So I'm like, as I'm running all over the place now, I know at some point I will slow down. You want to be able to do all these things like travel, spend a little more time with the family. And I was like, this is something that can give you that kind of opportunity. If you can find something online, then you can prepare yourself for such a time, okay, where you can earn from anywhere in the world. You don't have to be locked in an environment. If you want to be able to travel, but be able to earn at the same time, then this gives you an opportunity. I hope I answered your question
Yes.
appropriately.
Right, and you gave a different way of looking towards the online opportunities. Like, you are yourself is already an entrepreneur, but still you wanted something which can give you flexibility. So
Right.
it's not like only people doing 9 to 5 want some that flexibility, but even the people who are doing their professional traditional businesses, they also want that flexibility. So they are looking these kind of opportunity areas. So I would go to Dorothy and ask same question. So why you got interested in this business?
Okay, all right. Excuse me. First and foremost, as you said earlier, actually, hi everybody. How are you doing? Hope you're doing fantastic. And I'm very honored that I'm here today with the beautiful ladies and one gentleman. All right. So, my name is Dorothy Nakalima, as they introduced me earlier, and I'm from Uganda originally. So, why I got interested into starting this business, actually, it's because that according to my background, you know, I was naturally skeptical, I should say that. But when I first came across this business, my job was to identify risk, right? Detect those suspicious activities and protect people from fraud. So I wasn't someone who would jump into an opportunity without doing my homework as an anti-money laundering analyst person. So instead of making assumptions, I approached it the same way I would investigate any potential risk. I asked questions, verified the company's history, research, do they have a real product or a service? So looked into how, the business model works and everything. And my main why, or the main reason why I ended up with this online digital business, it's because that when I came into the United States, like any other immigrants, we come with a lot of, should I say, we have high expectations, right? We know we're gonna make it like from the day we come here. Unfortunately, once we come into these countries, that's when the reality kicks in for us. This is when you get to know that the responsibilities are greater than before. This is when you get to know that bills, they're not the same like back home. This is when you realize that the more you work a lot or the more you earn a lot, is like you're penalizing yourself of you working a lot, right? Because you will get to pay extra taxes on top of banning yourself, right? So when I get to realize that, I started now to think different ways. I started to see how am I gonna, make ends meet in this journey. So that's how I started to search for something. And the reality, when you're in a corporate world, sometimes you don't even think of starting a side hustle. You don't think of starting something aside because you're like, okay, I can make it, I can earn this good money, I can do what I want. But we forget that we are just working for a living. We forget our evening years. Most especially, the reality start to kicks in when you feel, let's say, you're sick. You didn't report, let's say, like for 1 good month or 2 weeks. That's when you realize that, okay, my paycheck, it depends on me being actively working. So that time reached, and that's when I was like, okay, no matter it's a good job, paying great, but I have to look for an option because I had a very bad back condition where I had to stop working for about 6 months. But bills cannot stop, right? So now this is where, well, I went to school, have these degrees and everything. But the thing is, if anything comes up, can I still manage to sustain the life I want to live? So that's when the reality kicked in and I started to look for something. And the other thing is that my own son started to walk without me knowing, but we were sleeping in the same house, right? Simply because I used to drop him 6 a.m. in the morning and pick him around 10 p.m. in the evening because I had two jobs. I did my anti-money laundering from 6:30 to 2, and then from 3 to 10 p.m. with my safety job. So as a mother, I felt something like, I don't know, but every parent out there, you can relate on this, living the third parties to raise your own children. It is something very painful I experienced that I couldn't even connect with my own son. So those are the main reasons which actually took me for me to, just dive into something I can do in the comfort of my home, no clock ins, no clock outs. I hope I answered your question.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing your reasons for starting this business. And I'm sure that every professional, every mother can relate to it, that what you have shared. And you both came from a very strong professional backgrounds, and you both bring a unique perspective when evaluating any business opportunity. So my question is for David. Because of your profession, you are trained to identify risks and scams. And when you first came across this business, what were your initial thoughts? Was there anything that felt you skeptical, that made you skeptical? So please share your thoughts on this.
Ha, thank you so much, Kati. Yes, um, I have I have experienced and I've been around people that have been scammed big time. Because I work in cybersecurity, I've seen all sorts of all sorts of scams and all sorts of games. I can use that word as well, that are played on people to take away their money or to blackmail. I've seen things. So I've seen opportunities online that digital opportunities online that look look realistic. They're very realistic, but then they have something to question. For instance, if you've run a business before, and that's why they play so much on the minds of people that have never run a business at all. If you've run a business before, you know that you gotta work it. You know that it requires your input at some point. I don't believe in free lunch or easy. You know what? If you've been on social media and you've happened to listen to a one Jack is it Jack Mauer or something?
Jack Ma, yeah.
Yeah, Jack Ma.
Yeah.
You know, he said something very profound. He said, if you give him a business opportunity, if I may paraphrase, I might not quote. If you came with a business idea, and it was very easy, and a lot of people can do it, he wouldn't do it. He goes for the hard stuff.
Yes.
You know, he goes for the hard stuff. He goes for something where he has to put in work, and it has worked for him. Okay, I'm not saying always go for something that is hard, but look out for easy opportunities. Press one button and make money. Wake up in the morning, all you gotta do, press a button, make money. I know people that were scammed. I don't want to go into the details of that scam, but where you had to press a button to make money. So my question has always been, what happens when you press that button? Why do I have to press the button? If I've started the business, like I know in many ways, say the people that invest in stocks or bonds, you look at it that way, pressing one button. You put your money into something and you wait for it to mature. I can understand that. Same way, if you tell me this is the investment, this is the opportunity, you invest money and this is the system, I can understand. But if you tell me that every day I have to engage and press a button, it sends signals to me. I start wondering, what is it about this button that I have to press every day? So what am I saying? That we all have instincts. We all do have instincts, but we never listen to our God-given guts and instincts. So that is where things kind of go. But your first instinct should be, I mean, your first your first go-to should be your instincts. If you don't feel comfortable about something, there's a reason why you're not feeling comfortable, and that calls for due diligence, for you to do the due diligence. So those opportunities I've seen and the people that have been scammed, of course, triggered a lot in me to be very skeptical about online businesses. But because you're in business and you're looking for opportunities, I mean, this is life. You can't run away from it. You know, we all have kids, we're parents, but we know even having kids is risky. Having kids is risky. You have to choose the right partner. Sometimes they're sick, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're C-class, sometimes they're not. But there are all these things to navigate, okay? But that doesn't stop you from starting a family. So with the same mind, I was like, okay, there's so many people that are digital millionaires from running digital businesses online. You can't run away from this. But then how do you navigate it? Okay, I know people that have been scammed. So how am I going to navigate this? So with a bit of the skills that I have, the first thing is to listen to those, to my gut and to these instincts, and also to do some due diligence. Now, was it easy? No, it wasn't. Okay, because instinctively, I want to put this out there. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Dorothy was in the same neighborhood where I live in California, and she was running a digital business. Okay, and I happened to have some IT skills. So at some point, a friend spoke to a friend, and somebody told her there is this guy who can help you. So that's how we met in the first place. I went and assisted her on her technologies. These were very small things to resolve, but she wasn't coming from an IT background, and she had her training though. But then again, she thought she would get a silver bullet, find somebody to do it for her. You know what I mean? You have your training, but you think somebody's gonna fix your issue. So I was called in. I looked at her issue. She was building her technology and putting together her systems, and I looked at the systems. They look familiar, yes, but then I realized there was a bit of a process. And then she was throwing in all these ideas. I was like, where are you getting these ideas from? She's like, I have this training here. I'm like, why don't you follow the damn training? So I looked at the training, okay? I looked at the training. I looked at what she was doing. I said, okay, this is where you missed your point. So this is what you missed, and we corrected that. And this is what you missed. And voila, done. So that triggered something in her. She was like, wait a minute. So I have my answers, okay? And I don't have to pay anybody, because the opportunity, the business opportunity we're talking about, had that step-by-step training, only to find out that she can actually do it without needing expert support, you see? But now, besides me having this entrepreneurial mind and trying to diversify in other areas, when I saw what she was doing, it involved her input. Remember, I'm talking about opportunities where you have to press a button to make money. And here I'm seeing somebody building something and really engaging skills, technology. In fact, the first trigger was like, there's something here. The skills that you're learning from this training, I looked at the training and it was very extensive. I was like, this kind of training, what is this? What is this you guys are building here? So I got curious. So I saw something different from the other opportunities I'm seeing online. When they tell you start trading, start crypto, I'm not shooting any online business, but I'm saying I didn't see any kind of help with these other investments and businesses, but I was seeing a structure here. And I'm like, this makes sense, okay? I can do this without being an expert at it. So that was the first thing that I saw. So if you want to kind of hear it from me, I think it's also intertwined in Dorothy's story, because I saw something, okay, that wasn't told to me. Not everybody is going to first see it, but I can say I'm lucky that I saw something from, that was in my line of profession. So I was helping somebody and I saw something. She wasn't making money. She was just building a system. But then after a couple of months again, I think that there was an issue with the system and it just couldn't display or something. Now, this really required some expert skills because it had nothing to do with technology, with platforms, but with technology. So she needed help with the technology. So when I go there, I'm like, okay, so what's going on? And the screens are black. I was like, okay, what is really going on? Touched a few buttons and it displayed. So when it displayed, I see some money. It was her account. So I see some money. I get excited. I'm like, wait a minute. What are you sitting on? So, and we said that it's like, this is the same business I was talking to you about, and you were so skeptical about, because when she was building this thing, we spoke a bit, and she was like, this online business, there's this online business, and I would just brush it off and say, online bees. In fact, I started calling her the bees. I said the bees. So eventually, when I saw something, it was like, wait a minute, what are you sitting on? He said, the same opportunity I was talking to you about. Remember the other time you came to us? I said, yeah. I said, okay, tell me more. So that was the beginning of it all. So said, you need to pay $145 to do, to unlock your blueprint so that you get to understand what the whole opportunity is all about. It's refundable. You have 30 days to get your money back if you're not cut out to do it. And I was like, okay. $149, easy job. So I paid my $149. I unlocked that training. I went through it, and I was like, you know what? We all make money and lose money along the way. Let me just invest some money here and see how it goes. Okay, there was this training. I can go through it. I can do all these things. So the opportunity gave me, I mean, the digital business gave me an opportunity to also do due diligence. Okay, so I'm answering your question. You're asking me how was that journey for me? Okay, I deal with risk. I see scams. I see all sorts of things. But nevertheless, I went ahead and did this. I can say I got lucky because I saw something from somebody. But then again, there was this opportunity to do due diligence, and that actually opened up. That accelerated my investment into it because I was like, okay, it's straightforward. Okay, it's risk free. It's straightforward. I can invest my money. It's been here for 40 something years at that time, because now we're talking about 40, 41, 42 years. But that time the business had been, it has a, it has a strong backbone, maybe behind a 50-year-old business. I was like, okay, this I can invest in. So that's how I got in. And that's how that's why I say that mine could have been a little easier, that I saw something, but then that wasn't enough to do the business, because I've also seen other people that have done online businesses and I've lost money. So seeing is not the actual element that I want to hold you on, but the ability to do some kind of due diligence and that ability to access a blueprint so you can actually see whether you're cut out to do it. For me, that was key. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David, for sharing in your answers. And I'm sure that this session is going to be really, really special, as the majority of audience that approach us, they are scared of online space. They're scared to invest. They're scared to share the information. Right? They're feared to go ahead. Even though they see the potential, they're scared to move ahead with the information. I'm sure this session is going to answer most of their concerns and fears. So my question is especially for Dorothy. Dorothy, I'm so happy to see you and know more about you. Actually, I want to know, like, coming from such a professional background of seeing risk, and what due diligence did you personally do when you saw this business opportunity? Of course, it met your requirements, but what did you see? What were the green flags that stood out for you? What did you personally see that that allowed you to take the decision of stepping into the business?
Wow. Thank you so much for asking that question. Actually, I should say what stood out, as I mentioned earlier, that I couldn't just jump on something just, out of assumption. Let's say approaching it. I approached it the same way as I mentioned earlier, that I could investigate any other potential risk. And I asked my questions. I verified the business's history. I researched, does the business involving real products? Does it involving real system? Is there a service in place? I asked all those questions, and what stood out for me, it was actually that the business, it has been it has been there for more than 50 years. So 5 decades for somebody, to successfully run a business. That was one of the that is one of the green flag. I should say that it reflected. So now, before I joined, I treated it like any other serious business decision. I was not looking for side hustle, right? I was looking for something which is eventually going to, let's say, replace my job, because I was tired of crying in my bed because I cannot give, or I cannot have time to raise my own blood. I needed something whereby it can work within me when I can still take care of my family. So I didn't rely on emotional or hype. People rely on emotion. Some of them, they rely on hype, right? Oh, this person made this person paid off mortgage in 3 years, this person doing the business. I took time to research and verify everything. The first thing I looked at was whether this business is legit. Was it legit? I found out it had a business, the business which has been there for over 50 years, operating in many countries, not one country, and has proven track records. That's the most important thing, right? And that gave me confidence that it wasn't a fly by night business, right? It's not a overnight, success. I know even if you're to wake up and you want to become a nurse, it's not going to take you 2 months. It's not going to take you 3 months. So from a professional background and from a person who is an entrepreneur, I know very well what it takes to build something which you can pass to generation. Let's say a generational wealth business, right? I also asked a lot of questions, right? I was skeptical. I should say I was a CEO when it comes to skeptical. So I would ask questions. For example, how does the business model actually work? Where does the income come from? Because a lot of people just know that the business are mostly online. They're actually the online businesses, some are real and some are not, right? So you can, and it's very sad that most people, they just focus on how much they can make and how much they can invest. They don't even ever ask, where does the income come from? How do you make that money you're asking, right? They don't ask that question, and that's the key question to any business. That's the return on investment, right? And is this business, does it involving a product or a service? Because I know very well that in any business globally, you will either have a service or have a product. You can't have a business without those two things. At least you need one. Either you need a product or you need a service. When you look at all the big companies we know, look at Coca-Cola. They have a product. They have drinks, right? Look at iPhone. They have phones, right? The Apple devices, laptops. When we come to our professions, let's say the Laundering Analyst, I'm giving service to people. I no longer do it. So I was giving service to people. When we look at David, cybersecurity, he is giving service to people. So you to earn the money, what are you providing? Is it a product or a business? So I had to do all that research and, ask questions to people who are already doing the business, because those are the people who are going to give me the answer because they're doing it. And then the most important thing is, do people receive tax documents? For example, I'm in the US, right? What tax documents do you give me? So if you're owning a business and you're telling me you're going to give me a 1099, then a W-2, that's a job. That's not me owning, right? That's not me starting a business. That's not me being self-employed. So, of course, people in the US like me, I realized that, yes, we get a 1099 to file the taxes. And what I've discovered that the business is operating over 42 countries, right? So this one, I'm like, okay, so everybody, they get their tax document according to their countries they're living in. And I decided to go deep. I still asked what kind of training and mentorship is available. Because I know very well, you to do a successful business, you need to have a mentor. The way when you want to become a cybersecurity guy like David, he needed a course. He needed training. He needed to go to school. That's mentorship. He went through all those things and then started to go in the field of working, right? There's something happening in the business. mentorship is something which is going to help you grow faster than figuring out all things by yourself. Because now this is a person or is something whereby somebody has ever went through. So they have experience. They know what to do. The challenges, they have the solutions. You're not going to figure out things by yourself. That's the other thing. And I get to ask a question like, can this business realistically fit around a full-time job? Because I needed to know that. I had 2 full-time jobs, right? So I also verified the business, as I mentioned earlier. I verified all those the business, and I realized that this is a high ticket opportunity. It was not a low ticket opportunity. So this is all about due diligence, because due diligence is to make informed decision, to go into something when you've understood from A to Z. So I wanted to get all this information because I was not looking for something which is going to disappear overnight. I was not looking for something which is going to take me years for me to achieve my goals. I wasn't looking for a low ticket opportunity. I was looking for something high ticket opportunity. And and actually there was a structured training. There's a system whereby they have that training and to help beginners succeed. So to me, it was one of the things which marked almost all of the boxes, because I know I cannot succeed alone as a beginner. I need people around me. I need those people who have that experience. And I wanted to know that could it be left? I couldn't be left alone. Starting the journey alone is the most actually difficult thing. Sometimes it might take you forever to achieve the goals because you were not prepared. So one of the biggest green flags for me was the transparency, that my questions were answered openly. There was no pressure to make a decision. There was no pressure to say, oh, now, this promotion ends this, you need to do this, when you miss this opportunity, no. There was no pressure. They left me to make my own decision on my own pace. This tells you that, okay, the company, it has been there for over 50 years. This tells you that take your time. You will find us whenever you're ready, right? There's no that pressure. So I was encouraged to do my own research before starting it, and I also saw real people from different backgrounds getting results by consistently following the system. Nobody I was seeing in this community when I was just started sharing their success journeys and, having results, people quitting jobs, people paying off their mortgages in 3 years, people making 5-6 figures a month. I've never seen anybody saying, talking about their results without saying that they did not follow the training. Everybody was actually even thanking the training. Thank God that I had this training, because that training, it's exactly a game changer for everybody, even if you're a beginner in the community. And it did to me too. So after doing my research and feeling satisfied with the answer, I made that informed the decision to start. Then looking back, taking the time to do my due diligence gave me confidence that I was actually making the right decision. However, there is a very big obstacle. Most people, they just, how even should I phrase it? I don't know how should I bring it. What a due diligence means. Let me say that. I think they lack they lack the skills to do the due diligence. Doing a due diligence, look at it like let's say you want to, you are thick, right? You're thick and you want to know what are you suffering? what is going on with your life, right? You're not feeling well. The first thing is to visit a doctor. That's one step of the due diligence to go and understand what's paining you. The second step is the doctor to go and start run the like they do the test. But before they do the test, you will first go through consultation. Before they even treat you, you need a consultation to explain to them what's going on, and then everything after, they will put all whatever you explained, and they will say, okay, I think then it's gonna be this and this and this. But before you even engage to go in that conversation with the doctor, there's always a consultation fee. It's part of due diligence before you get treatment, before you even know what you are suffering from, right? So, and I wonder why people, when it comes to due diligence, they don't want to pay for due diligence. To make a due diligence to start like your own business, there's that due diligence needed to get all that information, all the questions I asked. To get them, I had to pay $149. To get my answers, I had to pay $149 to have a mentor, to have a coach who is going to answer all my questions, right? To access the system and everything, to go and do my research, to understand, because you cannot do research when you haven't understood what are you going to search about? What are you going for? I wonder when people say, okay, let me first go do my research. What research are you going to do when you don't have the right information you're going to search on?
Yes.
So that's the thing I believe most of people we skip. And my background of due diligence and everything, that I believe is the first thing to everybody, even if this is not even involving starting a business, it's even involving something daily. It's a normal thing to everybody. But I wonder when somebody cannot pay the due diligence to change their life. When we go to school, before we even start, there is a registration, right? When we are looking for houses, let's say even if you're looking for an apartment, there is even a non-refundable registration, right? When I'm a parent, when I'm looking for school for my son, there is that, it's not even a consultant, it's admission fee. It's even non-refundable, right? But this is where you pay I paid a $149 to get the information so that I can make my own informed decision. There is no way you can, let's say, buy a house, for example, of $300,000 without due diligence. You need a person who understands what you're going through. That's the reason why people hire Anthony. You pay that consultation fee, right? For them to go and negotiate on your behalf. You pay home inspector. There's that fee. Before you go, you like the house, you go for it, even you talk with the realtor, you liked it. And then on your final decision of signing that form, you look for home inspector. And the home inspector is a fee paid separately to help you make the informed decision to buy this form, however much you liked it. Because there are things you can't do. You can't go up there in the cylinder and see if this is working properly. The inspector is the one to do that. So to me, I believe those are some of the questions, and that's what made me to make this decision, and I can't regret. Back to you, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. Thank you so much. Your answers, whatever you answered is like you answered some part of my question. But same question I will ask to David. As you know, there are so many online scams going on, and people get so scared when they hear about any online opportunity, right? So
Right.
from your professional experience, I would like to know, what are some of the warning signs people should watch before joining any online opportunity?
get rich quick, get rich quick kind of opportunities. There's no magic wand to making money. If anybody tells you that it's that simple, always question, because either it's going to be that simple for a couple of months, but then you'll find yourself in a big trap where you've lost money, or where you have no access to the actual business. You have no control over certain things. Okay. So if you find that that's what you're walking into, then you better be worried. Okay, you better be worried. Then the other thing that I can think of, it's intertwined in exactly what I think for me was key to starting the business. If I'm running a business, or if you want to start a business, some of the things for me to look at. Everybody has their way of looking at opportunities they start in life. Okay, businesses they want to do in life, but is this something that you can pass on? Okay, is this something you can pass on? Because if it's only going to involve pressing one button, I don't know why that start really hard in my mind. But because I saw people losing a lot of money, I'm like, are you going to pass on a button to your loved ones to also press and start making money? Okay. And if there's no button to press, is that the life you want to leave them with? Again, I'm like, I want to leave something tangible. If it's something that I'm doing, I want something that I can pass on. With my technology, I know my people probably won't do it. It's a skill I've built over years. It's a skill I see some of my kids picking up, but I don't know. Okay, so for a business, is this a business I'm able to pass on to them? If they don't have an interest in technology, probably not. Probably yes. I don't know. But from where I was seeing things, I'm like, probably not. So by going into this kind of world, the digital space, and finding something that has training, has coaches, has all these kinds of things, I'm like, okay, this is something I can pass on, a legacy, something I can leave these guys to run. Okay, I can do it. Other people can do it. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to be so, you don't have to have prior business, prior knowledge of running businesses to do it. So for me, again, I'm like, if I'm looking for an opportunity, I want something that seems to have a structure to it. So if you're out there looking for an opportunity online, some things to watch out for. Is there some kind of a community? Is there some kind of support group? Is there some kind of a support system? One, for your technologies. Two, people to talk to help you build. Okay, mentorship, coaching, training. What is there for you to fall back to when things are going bad? Okay, or when you feel the road is narrowing. So for me, that tells me something. If there are these kinds of structures, then it means the opportunity has been well thought of. Okay, there's a bit of a foundation for these opportunities. So, what is there for you to try and understand the business? Okay, do they have consultants to talk to, so you can ask those questions? Okay, or you have to Google it, or try to find out your own way. So these are some of the things I can look at. It's not rocket science, but part of doing due diligence is putting together these kinds of guide rails or points, check marks, points to check off. Okay, is it legit? Okay, okay. If this is a business I want to run, if this is an opportunity I want to actually push as a business, is this something they're going to wake up one morning and tell me you're engaging in an illegal activity? Is it legit? Do you pay taxes? Is it recognized as a business, or some kind of shady money-making opportunity? So these are things I think that are key or that I would look at. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David and Dorothy. I think coming these words from the professionals like you will make definitely an impact on the people who are skeptical, or somewhere they want to do it but somewhere they are in doubt whether it's a legit platform or no. So definitely it will be make a different impact on them. So now my question is to Coach Dorothy. Like, I was going to ask you that how this online business you find different from others, but you already answered, I think, the training, the mentorship and all. So now I want to ask you that has your professional knowledge made you more confident in building this online business? Because most of the time, like if I talk about me, my audience mostly are moms, mostly stay-at-home moms or moms on career break. So they feel like we don't know anything or we don't have any specific skill whether we will be able to do it or no. So as a myself, a mom on career break, I always tell them that whatever you have learned in your life till now, somewhere it is going to help you. Any skill which you learned is not going to waste, right? It will help you to do things. So now I want to ask you, like, you were in completely different profession, so was that helpful for you to build this business, or if yes, then how?
Come again, your question, sorry.
Like your professional background, like you came from the money laundering things and all, like safety, security and all those things, but this online business is completely different from your profession. So how does your that skill help you to build this business?
Oh, wow. I think when it comes to experience, I had no experience. David reported me here before we started. First and foremost, when I started the business, I actually thought money can do everything, which is not the right, though that's what most people think. So I had no experience when it comes to online, or, well, I could use a laptop, like, and when it comes to money laundering, there's a lot of AI, there is a lot of apps. Sometimes you just need. But the thing is, when I saw the training, I'm like, okay, not a tech service. So I thought, I will have to get somebody to do this training faster for me so I can start. And yes, like David said, something very small actually was disturbing me. It was about Pixel. For those people who run businesses with the digital platforms, you know what Pixel means. So that's where my challenge was. And I had to tell a friend. And then a friend was like, oh, I have a friend. That's when David came in. That's when we came to know each other, by the way. So, and well, what changed everything, I realized that you do not have to limit yourself because of your background to your success. And I learned to know that as long as you're coachable, you're mentable, and you're willing to learn, when it comes to the business, it's not rocket science. You don't have to even, like fear, oh, will I even be successful? Or will I make it? Oh, what am I going to do? This and this. Because this is me from, no, I've ever run businesses back home, but these are traditional businesses. This is not a digital business. This is like you have a shop where you need, to hire people to be there for you, or even yourself to be there. So when it comes to digital, I didn't have any experience on that. But because of the training, as I mentioned earlier, I was able to maneuver everything without any experience. And I remember when David came, I'm like, wait a second, I didn't need him. Because it's like, what I was talking about is like, I'm just saying you don't know. And you're the one even telling me what to do. And I'm like, he was like, where are you getting this information? And I showed him the training. It's like, okay, now let's watch whatever you're telling me together. And it's like, yeah, this is what you skip, so this is what you have to do. So it's like a monkey see, monkey do, as you already say. So it's a monkey see, monkey do. So this simply says that I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be difficult if you're not coachable, if you're not mentable, if you're looking for quick results, that get rich quick thing, you're going to see that it's not, it's difficult for you. But if you're looking forward to build a long-term business, then you don't have to care about any of that, or do I have to be with experience or this and that? Because all in our business, it's like a box with everything. So like parents or anybody out there, no matter which background you're from, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't have any experience, you just have to make sure that you are coachable, you're mentable, willing to follow instructions, so you're good to go. So for me, basically, according to my traditional jobs or the businesses I owned before, and this business, I did not get, like, should I say, those big challenges, because they had solutions there. So however much I didn't have experience, but I faced challenges. I'm not going to say that you're not going to face challenges. I'll be lying to you, because even still my young kids, they're still facing their own challenges. So challenges is part of life, right? But the most important thing is that, do you have a solution for that challenge? And that's what the training provides. And that's why you're given a mentor, you're given a coach. So I believe with experience, it should not be an excuse to limit you from starting something for yourself. Hope I answered your question.
Yeah, very rightly said. So this is the last question for you both for today's session. Many people watching today are skeptical, and honestly, they just want to protect themselves. So,
Right.
based on your professional experience, what advice would you give someone before making any decision about starting the online business opportunity? What should they verify first? Like, how can they separate a legitimate opportunity from a scam? And what mindset should they have while evaluating any online business opportunity?
Thank you, Kathy. Um, I would begin by saying, yes, it's a very good thing to be skeptical. Be skeptical, be skeptical, and be skeptical. If you can be skeptical 5 times, the better. Do you know what that does? It then engages you to do due diligence. If you're not skeptical, you're not going to do you're not going to engage in due diligence, because you'll just either believe and jump in and get burnt, and you'll get burnt. Why? Because you'll come with this mindset that, oh, it's online, it's digital, it's technology. Technology will do the heavy lifting, and you're thinking that it's not going to involve you. Come to find out, it's going to require some 20% from you. And if you came in without that kind of prepared mind, that's where I'm saying it's going to burn you. So by being skeptical, that is an instinct, a God-given instinct to all of us, which we should use to find more information. The beauty is there are opportunities out there that will give you access to a blueprint. Okay? Take it. So if there's any kind of access to get more information or to understand what the systems are, what kind of product or service you're going to engage in, whether you have training or not. I mean, these are things you're going to find out. You're either going to ask if there's some kind of consultation, if the opportunity is giving you some level of consultation, you're talking to somebody, or it's giving you some kind of a blueprint to access and understand what it's all about. Your skepticism is going to help you to dig. So I'm saying it's good to be skeptical and to use it to your advantage. Now, we are talking about people who are skeptical and they use that to deter themselves from opportunities. Okay, it's yes, you can be skeptical and say, I'm not getting there, or I'm not trying because I'll get burned. But I'm saying it's good to be skeptical because everybody is, but use it to your advantage. And the other thing is, let me ask any of you right here, or whoever is watching us, how many of you can find information about McDonald's or Starbucks by just walking to any restaurant, any bar, a bus station, go and park somewhere in the road and ask whoever you want about starting a Starbucks? Nobody has that information. But Starbucks has been here for years. Everybody knows about it. Ask them how you can set up one. You will hardly find anybody giving you how to start that kind of business. What does that tell you? It tells you this is information that is not readily available on the streets. This is information you're either going to have to do due diligence on, meaning you got to contact the offices. Either you're going to have to pay some premium to find a consultant to take you through the process, or you're going to have to go to the companies and book in. And, some of these companies do have prerequisites. I'm not saying they're going to tell you this, but they might tell you, for us to pair you with a consultant, you need to show proof that you have $500,000 on your account, so we know you're not going to waste our time. Otherwise, you're going to walk in with $2,000 in your pockets, and you also want to start a Starbucks. I'm not saying that that's the process, but they might tell you, hey, you know what? Easy job. Come with proof of at least $500,000 on the account. We'll pair you with a consultant. Knock yourself out. Ask questions. They'll tell you what you need. And if you're ready to start, you'll go on. So this is not a good thing, and this is not a bad thing. Why? Because it is also helping the company to shake off unserious walk-ins, because everybody will want to walk in and waste their time. It takes time to explain these things. These are calls, and you only have a few hours in the day to do this kind of consultation. So they will shake off unserious people by telling you pay $149. If you think it's too much to pay, then how are you expecting to run a business without investing at all? And here we're saying it's a risk-free. So for me, I look at it as an opportunity, at least to do that due diligence, to find out. So skepticism is good. Skepticism should be used to our advantage to always drive us to do due diligence. And due diligence can only be done if we have those resources available to us from the same opportunities we would like to do. If you're going to do a business and it doesn't give you an opportunity to find out more information, things are not as clear should be, and there's not enough information, then your skepticism in this way should be a deterrent and say, hey, you know what? I'm not sure about this opportunity, but then again, I don't see where I'm going to get the information from. I think I'll pass for this opportunity. That's where skepticism is playing to your advantage in the negative sense, but also positively, because there's no chance for you to find more information. But if you're skeptical and there's an opportunity to access information, I'm saying use it to your advantage and go ahead, find out. If you're not cut out to do anything, nobody's pushing you. You can always walk on and find another opportunity in life, but don't deny yourself the opportunity to do that due diligence. Find out whether it works for you, whether you're cut out for it. If you're not, it's fine. There are so many opportunities in the world. Go find a job. Go do an 8 to 5. It's also good, and live life. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Dorothy, can you please
All right.
share your thoughts on that?
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. Actually, when it comes to skeptical, I believe almost David actually pointed it out, but I should say it all starts with a mindset, because you have to understand being skeptical is good. As I mentioned earlier, that I was skeptical too, but the mindset is the one to determine at the end of the day. So there is what we call a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So if you're skeptical with a fixed mindset, this believes that abilities, intelligence, and success are limited, right? So that's why when you're skeptical, you are even not, you are afraid to even go deep to risk something because you have that fixed mindset, and you either have it or you don't. So you need to know yourself where you fall when it comes to skeptical. Are you skeptical with a fixed mindset, or you're skeptical with a growth mindset? Because there are two different things there. So you need to understand if you do or not. And people with fixed mindset often avoid challenges, right? Fear failure. And failure, it's part of growth. It's part of success. And give up when things become difficult because they see setbacks as proof they can't succeed. So even in school, when we went to school, we had people who took retakes, right? We have people who got retake and they're like, me, I'm done. We go to the university over like, let's say 100, people in class, and you only graduate 30, right? So the rest, they had that fixed mindset with the skeptical, oh, what if I do the exam again and I fail it? Why don't you fix what made you to fail that exam? So being skeptical is good, but remember, which mindsets are you operating in with your skepticism? And a growth mindset, on the other hand, believes that skills can be developed. It's either through learning, effort, consistency, and then feedback, right? People with a growth mindset, trust me, see challenges as opportunities to grow. Because when I didn't have time for myself, I was told to stop working for like 6 months. I had I had my profession. It was a well-paying job, right? I had these 2 jobs working day and night. So it wasn't the end of the day because I had a growth mindset. I'm like, okay, let me think something differently. How can I earn when I'm not supposed to report to this job, right? So it was a challenge I was going through by that time. This is where now your income is ending. Sometimes even the unemployment, fee coming in, but it cannot even pay your rent. So those are the challenges. But because I had a growth mindset, I started to think differently. How can I now start earning to work in a comfort of my home while still earning like the way I was while I'm still reporting at my regular job? So in actually any business or career, your mindset matters just as much as your skills, right? So if you have a fixed mindset, every obstacle becomes a reason to quit. If you have a growth mindset, every obstacle becomes a lesson that helps you become better. So there is something on this planet you can't change. Even doctors, there is no treatment for that. It's a mindset. It's you to change it. Because anything, actually, most of the physical things, you can change them. They have options. Let me say, I actually have some background from healthy care. I remember when I was still a nurse back home, when somebody comes, when they are lacking blood, we were always having an option, right? When they cannot eat, we have the eating tubes. There is option to make this person eat. But when it comes to the mindset, there's no doctor will even prescribe for you that medication to change your mindset. It is something you as a person to work on and change. So simply says, if you're skeptical, simply with my ending, if you're skeptical, think about, do you have a fixed mindset with your skeptical, or you have a growth mindset with your skeptical? Me, I had a growth one, but I was still skeptical. That's why I had to ask a lot of questions. That's why I paid my 149 to get to know the information. So with people fixed mindset, simply, let me actually get it in a simple way. Fixed mindset, you can't do this. Every time you're like, I cannot do this. Growth mindset, I can't do this yet. They know they can do it, but they are still figuring out on how they're going to do it. But they can't say that I can't do this. And fixed mindset, they avoid challenges. They avoid risk. And the growth mindset, they embrace those challenges. So with fixed mindset gives you, let's say, gives up easily. So any obstacle, as I mentioned earlier, anything very small for you, you want to quit. And any challenges, you just want to quit. You're like, oh, this is not for me. Or this. That's the reason why I say that I believe mindset is something like, if you are skeptical, work on your mindset. That's what I can say. And back to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much again, David and Dorothy. Yes, being skeptical, it's okay, but you need to do your due diligence, and definitely you need to work on your mindset if you want to change, make changes in your life, if you don't want to stay stuck in one place. So that brings us to the end part of this session. We are going to ask very quick questions to you, both of you, and you have to answer it right away. Whatever comes in your mind at first, answer it quickly. Right. So I will
Right.
start with one question to both of you. One word that described your online journey, the online entrepreneurship. One word, both of you.
Okay, I'll take a go at it. One word that describes my online um, journey, online business journey. I can say one word, maybe two. I can say it's a interesting journey. Lots of learning.
Uh-huh.
Okay, because it's a very dynamic space.
Right.
There's a lot of learning, which really is a very interesting thing because I'm a dynamic person. I love, I get bored if something is stagnant, but the online is changing. Platforms are changing. The way we do business is changing. So I find it quite interesting in that sense.
Yeah. Dorothy, one word for you.
Just one word like this.
You can go like one line as well, one sentence.
One word, like my journey, I believe, is the perfect example of a growth mindset. And I didn't have experience, as I mentioned earlier, in this industry. So when I started, I had to learn new skills. So I should say it's about growth mindset.
Yes. So on that second question, one skill from your past profession that helped you in this online business.
For me, it's the skill or the virtue of patience. Okay, if
Yeah.
again, to put perspective to it, straight out of school, I went into business. So I've been running businesses for quite some time, but I've also worked in corporate. Like I said, 2015, 2016, 1 year, and again the other 2 years when I was here in the US. Why I say patience is because I know some days are good, some days are bad. With business, you gotta work it to enjoy it. So it's a game of patience. Nothing happens, as fast as you might wish or wish it to happen. So patience.
Right.
Hey, this one word question. Can you repeat this?
What is the one skill from your past profession that helped you in this business?
Nothing. Maybe typing. My profession is something completely different from what I started.
But still you're yeah, but still
I
you're
think
succeeding.
communication.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
the skill I had from my, helped me here.
Right. Yes.
So next two questions are from me. The first one is, one thing people should always check before trusting any online opportunity.
One thing people should always check before trusting an online opportunity.
Yes.
Um, mm,
I
people
think
should be people
Yeah.
should be people should be worried when something is um it is presented as a get rich quick. Watch out for get rich quick schemes or get rich quick opportunities. Quick money. be very careful about opportunities that will give you quick money. There'll definitely be opportunities where you can make money quickly, okay? But watch out for opportunities that present quick money.
Okay, for me, is your why. The reason why I say that is your why, it's because your why, it's the one forcing you to go look what you're looking for. So because you're coming and your why is in front of everything you're trying to do, so you will even give yourself opportunity to dig deep and go understand where you want to go. So for me, focus on your why, because if you focus on your why, it's gonna take you exactly what you're looking for. If you're looking for a short-term business, of course your why, you will land on those kind of opportunity. If you're looking for a long term, you will even have time to dig deep, because that's where your why pushes you. So that's what I should say, that they look into their why.
Yes, amazing answers. Okay, so the last question from my side is a common myth about online business that you wish people understood better. A common myth about online businesses.
A
The common what?
common myth about online businesses. Scams. Yeah, scams. Common myth is that online businesses are scams. Well, I'll put it. Let me spoil it for you. If you think every online business is a scam, all businesses are now doing something online. Most businesses have gone online. So you're telling me that your bank is a scam? You're telling me your car dealer is a scam? So you're telling me that your food restaurant or whatever it is, Amazon is a scam? That's what you're telling me. Because these are all digital businesses. They're doing business online. So one thing that people should know is that they should just learn or develop a skill to do due diligence on businesses they want to do online. Not every business is a scam.
Dorothy?
Actually, my answer is the same as for David, because in most people, actually, I should say that's what they think. Whatever comes something online, what comes in their like in their mind, it's that it has come. And the thing is, that's false, because there are many legitimate businesses, and there are scams. So we don't want to say that they are not there, because people have ever been scammed, right? Just like with traditional business, the key is doing the proper research before starting it. And an online business is just like any other business. So it's like any other business. It's like you waking up and starting up any business you could think of. It's the same thing with online, but the only difference when it comes to online is that it uses internet to reach customers. That's the only difference. But it's exactly the same the way you can start any other traditional business. So the same principles apply. You need a legitimate business model, the right mindset, effort, that continuous learning, and success doesn't come from being online. It comes from the value you create in the work you put in. So I believe it's the same as for the EB.
Perfect. The next set of questions are from me. The first question is risk or opportunity. What should one focus on when taking their decision? So, David?
Both.
Okay.
So why am I saying both? Is that we're in life, we look for opportunities to make money, to develop, to do things. But in every opportunity is some element of risk. Okay, so what do you focus on? If you focus on risk, then you'll miss the opportunity. But why I say both is that you focus on the opportunity, but just know that with the opportunity is a risk. Therefore, you need to take a calculated risk. So your journey, your job is to make sure that you do the research, the due diligence to minimize that risk, or to make sure that that risk is calculated to something you can afford to take. If you're too much of a person who can roll the dice, go for it. You don't have to go for it and roll a 50-50. If you feel that that's not an opportunity for you, then look for an opportunity that has a level of risk that is, at least minimized to what you can take. 30% risk, 70%, you'll do it. Go ahead and do it. Thank you.
Dorothy.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna take both. Like for David, why? It's because I believe people should first understand the risk before focusing on the opportunity. Because coming from my background, I was trained to identify red flags, right? Verify information and proper due diligence, right? Before making a decision. So before you make a decision, that's why we always say start with the due diligence. Understand each and everything. And there is no business you're going to do without risk, right? But as David said earlier, are they calculated risk? Because that's the most important thing, because there's no business you're gonna go. So once you understand the type of risk you're taking, is it calculated? What I mean by calculated, you have to understand what are you supposed to do for you to get the results from the opportunity you're trying to go for. So is it, how long does it gonna take you? So for you, is it gonna take you 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? So you need to go and understand all those kind of things. And once you're satisfied, the opportunity has some level of risk. You need to understand that. But informed decision comes from understanding both sides, as David said. So don't focus on just one. You're focusing on two. That's why I told you that your why is very important earlier, because it's the one now driving you coming to this other question, knowing that, okay, if I'm to go for this, some people go start a business where they are going to invest like 40,000 USD, and somebody tells them, me, I cannot risk that money, right? And somebody saw, because of the opportunity I'm seeing and the result, it's not a short-term thing. I go for it, right? So those things, I believe they work too.
Perfect. My second and last question for this session is: now you both come from amazing careers, plus you both are digital business owners as well. Now, what's one habit that you contribute to your success in both your careers? Let's start with David.
One habit.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. What's the one habit that contributes to the success? Okay. This is just in my nature. I'm a perfectionist. I love things to be perfect. If I choose to go out to do something, my objective and focus is to make sure it's done by the book. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's done right. It's done correctly. And whoever is on the receiving side gets value for money. So that level of dedication to my work, I think again has been transferred to what I'm doing in the digital space. When I choose to do something, I'm present. And if I'm not in the right mind for it, you can't get half of what I give. You get it all or you get nothing. So that, in a way, is good thing and a bad thing. In that I can make myself available and I'm fully available, but if I'm not in the right mindset, you don't get anything of me. So it's a what do you say? A curse and a gift in some way. So when I do it, I'm doing it. And if it's not going to be done to that level, then I'd rather not start. So that's how, yeah.
Okay. All right. So one habit that has actually contributed the most to my success is consistency. That's the habit. And I made a commitment to show up every day, like every single day, even when I didn't see those immediate results. I didn't give up. I stayed coachable. I kept learning, implementing. The most important thing to implement what I was taught, and I took daily action. Over time, those small, consistent actions compounded into the results I have today. When I came here in the US in 2019, and somebody hearing saying that I quit all the jobs in 2023, people are working. I know people working for 20 years. I know people are still even working in their retirement, but they still pick some shifts for them to sustain their bills. So for me, consistency is the one, which gave me all these results. And it's one of the habits I, like contributing from the business.
Perfect. Thank you so much to Dorothy and David for coming in and giving your time. I know you guys are busy with hectic schedules. Thank you so much again from the bottom of our hearts for coming in and sharing valuable information. And yeah, we wish you all the luck in the business, in your careers. And to everyone out there watching us, thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll be back again next Thursday with another live, with another guest. We'll keep you guys updated about it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye for now, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.